Hello and welcome to the Little Minds Big Ideas podcast with the early years work. We are late this week with our podcast release.
You had to think about that then,
I did. It's been a long week.
I'm still absolutely exhausted.
It wasn't with you at 6 o'clock on a Monday morning, and for that we can only apologise. We usually film these episodes on a Friday, but last week on Friday we were in London.
Yep, we were at the Childcare and Education Expo.
We were, so that is why we couldn't film, and we planned all week. We'll do it Sunday when we get home. We did a whole lot of nothing on Sunday.
Well, we didn't.
Apologies.
We stupidly booked a induction for our new gym at 10 o'clock in the morning, didn't we?
Yeah, and that was rough.
And that was, even though we didn't really do much, we just went for an induction.
I went straight home after that had finished. But yeah, and then we were straight back into the normal Monday, doing our day jobs. So
normal grind.
Yeah, so Monday's been crazy. So we're filming it at 4 o'clock on Monday to get this out to you. So we do apologise. We said to everyone at the weekend, we do a podcast as well that comes out at 6 o'clock every Monday. And if
First time they look for it,
they're going to be like, are they sure? But yeah, no. So
it's the first time we've missed Monday.
In 30 weeks.
Since doing this.
Yeah.
No, more than that now. Last week was 15, so this would be
15
16,
weeks.
yeah.
There you go then. So I feel like we just...
And it's not like it hasn't come. It's
it was just
potentially 24 hours late.
Yeah, but it's fine. We're here now. And we wanted to chat about the last week, really.
Yeah.
Been for and all of our experiences at the Childcare and Education Expo.
A Childcare and Education Expo recap, I think
a
you'll call this one. Rewind.
Yes. It was so fun.
It was. Do you know what? It feels like such a blur. I'm sort of sat here now having to talk about it, and it feels like such a blur.
Yeah.
It feels like it was so long ago, but at the same time, it feels like I'm still there.
Yeah. So we arrived in London on Wednesday afternoon.
For your B-Day.
For my birthday.
But we had a few technical errors, which meant I can actually leave the office for a good 4 hours later than we planned.
But it's fine. And then...
Those videos actually were cut. So on the actual stand, we had 2 TV screens for those who didn't come to the expo.
You're skipping ahead in my story.
I know, but we had 2, I won't go into your bit, 2 TV screens. And so I had to create the content to go on to those TV screens.
Yep.
And I had some issues with that in the morning. And for anyone who doesn't work in this sort of field in terms of technology, to export, your video, for example, it takes hours.
Yeah,
so I edit everything. We record everything on the cameras, obviously, and then we download it all onto the computers. Now, downloading it all onto the computers takes a while as well. And then to export the files out of Premiere Pro, which I use to edit and cut it. Exporting the files, basically it takes a minute for every minute of footage, there or thereabouts on my computer is the speed it takes. So if I'm stripping out a class that's like an hour or so long, it takes about an hour or so. Plus then I've started to embed videos within the video, which then takes even longer because there's more for it to extrapolate. So in the end, I was sat there for about 2 hours. And then once you've got this 2 hour long footage where you've extrapolated off, you've then got to upload it onto what we use, Vimeo, to host it, which takes another 2 or 3 hours. So I was basically spent all that morning, the night before and that morning, just faffing out. Because we're not normally under that much time constraint. If the video comes out on the platform on Wednesday, then so be it. It comes out on Wednesday as quick as I can get it up. But this, obviously, we had a bit of a hard deadline.
Yes, we had to be in London on Wednesday evening. So we got to London, fine. Ben took me out for a lovely dinner for my birthday. Brilliant. Next morning, Thursday, day of setup basically for the expo. So
we had some time to kill in the morning, didn't we? We went back into London.
We did, went back into London. Ben put a dent into some of the shops around Covent Garden, so that was fun for him. And then we headed back to the Olympia to see the team that was setting up the stand.
Yep.
When we got there was a problem with the size of one of the TVs.
Well, actually, to be fair, the first problem was the registration. We couldn't even get the badges, could we?
No. Oh, yeah. Well, that was our fault. Nothing to do with it.
Absolutely.
So I left Ben to that anyway. So we were there. We thought one of the TVs was going to be too big. In the end, ended up being the one we did use.
Yeah.
We had problems with the USB sticks.
Yeah.
Needed a HDMI cable. Oh, it was the point where I thought, I'm just going to cry. Like, this has to work. Otherwise, I'm just going to go home.
Another member of our team just left.
Yeah, she just walked off eating chocolate. She just left. And I was like, right, okay. But Ben stayed really calm, which is quite good for him. He just stayed really calm and worked with the guy and was like, no, it's fine. We'll sort it. One of them was at Curry's trying to get a different TV. Like, it was just everything that you could think to go wrong on a technical stand.
But if it comes to technology, there's always an answer eventually. You can always get to, you can figure out eventually. Yeah. There's always a solution.
But in that moment, it was like, are you fucking joking? We've not come all this way, carried computers in the rain, exported for hours and hours for it not to work.
And the way our set was sort of designed, like the TV screens were quite prominent. If they'd not been working, it would look really weird.
People would have been like, what is this stand? And then we were working with HDMIs, and then the fire officer for the building.
And the entire
team working on the expo, and it wasn't their fault, came towards us going, oh, these plugs,
what's going on here?
And I was just like seeing red, and I was like, and then there was a really lovely lady. It was like, don't worry, it'll be sorted, it's fine. And she was really nice.
It was just bad timing. We were trying to strangle each other with HDMI cables.
We were just like, oh my God. So we didn't end up leaving the expo on Thursday night until 7-ish, 7:30 maybe.
8 o'clock almost, wasn't it? I think we were definitely the last ones out.
No, we weren't. There were still a few people setting up bits, and that because that made me reassured.
Well, I think the people setting up bits mainly the people putting the flooring down, I'll be honest.
It's fine, but they were still there.
I don't think there was many exhibitors left at like 8 o'clock at night.
So yeah, but we did it, we got it sorted, and then the rest of our team joined us on Thursday.
Yep.
We went for a nice team meal.
No, that same day. We're on Thursday now, aren't we? So they all joined us. They all joined. We then met them, didn't we, at the train station?
Yeah, we all had a nice meal. It was lovely. And then the next day we met at 7:30 in the morning for day one, which was Friday. And I have to say, the 2 days were very different.
Yeah.
I found. Because...
Do you mean in terms of people attending or us? Because we were definitely like full of beans Friday morning, then by the end of Saturday.
You caught us after 3 o'clock, 2:30 on Saturday, I'm sorry. We were all flagging. But no, in terms of the people that were there, I feel like on Friday, there was more like leads and directors and owners. Yeah.
A lot of independent like trainers and college people. Tutors.
Yeah. Whereas on Saturday, it was a lot more educators, nannies, childminders, things like that.
Well, I think we got recognised once on the Friday, and then by the time Saturday came around, it was
quite a few times.
6-7+ times. It was quite nice. And then more people had heard of us as well. If may not recognised, may not listen to this or whatever, but certainly more people had heard of Brandon. Seen us
a lot more people recognised Ben than me.
Obviously just got more of a recognisable face. Not sure that's a good or bad thing.
As soon as I started talking, so I was like, I do know your voice. And yeah, sorry, that's me. But yeah, no, it was lovely. On Friday, we were still got to test in the waters of how doing things. But I think from us, it was just so lovely to be able to share the product.
I mean, it's strange for us because we've sort of sat here like disconnected from like reality or like real people. Because it's not like if you set up a shop, you're selling like physically to people. If you set up a nursery, you know your customers, you see them drop the kids off, and then the kids see your customers. Like a lot of ways you have like realistic, like real life interaction with people. But obviously with us who sort of set up, we're very forthright. So people recognise us and we'll create, not relationships, but they get to know who we are as people because we're out there, we put ourselves out there. But we don't get any of that back other than occasionally when people drop us messages on social medias and stuff. But even then, that's like you just see a picture of someone. It could be anybody in the world. So it's nice to actually, for once, like it's the first time we've spoken to people in real life about the product, let alone showed it and demoed it. So it was quite, it's quite strange, but at the same time, really, really exciting and really fun.
It's quite interesting though, because a lot of people didn't realise that we had a product.
Yeah, I know. They thought we were there with a podcast.
I thought we were there promoting the podcast, which is great because I'm glad people are listening to the podcast. And some of the feedback was that the conversations we're having need to be had. We're sharing insightful information or just good to be part of the conversation in the world of early years, which was so, so lovely.
Thankfully, no one came up to us because your guys' podcast rubbish.
I probably would have cried if it was on Saturday afternoon. I was so tired.
Please stop.
Please don't say that to me. But that was really lovely. But when we said, but have you seen the platform? It was like,
what platform?
What platform? So if you haven't checked out the earlyyearsnetwork.co.uk, please go and check it out because we've worked so hard on this product and we're so proud of it. And everyone we spoke to at the weekend understood where our passion comes from, I think, after seeing it.
I think there's two massive barriers from when we spoke to people. I think the first barrier are people are a bit like, what is it? Because it's not something that exists in our industry at the moment. You know, you have websites out there like Skillshare, and when you talk to anybody else in other industries, they have websites that provide them online training and support and resources, and like that exists in quite a lot of other industries, whether you're designing websites, whether you're doing this, that, and the other. There's a lot for like accountancy, or there's a lot for financial management and investment, blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't really exist for early years, so people haven't quite, they get it at first. They think it's for the children at first. And then when you tell them it's not for the children, they go, oh, well, what is it? Safeguarding, and can I get my health and safety and first certificate? But no. Often when we talk in early years, we talk about training. Often it is the mandatory stuff that gets talked about rather than the actual like developing who we are and educating children. I think then once you break that barrier down, everyone who always came on thing was like, well, how much is it going to cost me? And they said £4.99 and the jaw nearly hits the floor. Because you step onto the thing and you immediately think like, oh, this is going to cost me an arm and a leg. Yeah. Because if you buy a one-off course online from any other training providers in the early years, it probably normally, you're starting like 25 quid. Yeah. Is that fair to say? And it can go up to the hundreds of pounds I've seen. Yeah. Or thousands if you join particular things and support. So they were the two massive barriers. And then when you calm people down and go, actually, well, this is what it is. It's sort of like, I always used to say it's like the Netflix of early age training and development, and it's £4.99 a month. Well,
what more do you want? Yeah. But it was so lovely to finally show people it, because like I said, not many people had actually known that that's what we do.
It's so people who listen to us all the time, so we obviously don't talk about it.
No, clearly not. But yeah, I think it was just really eye-opening to talk to people about the fact that there is a need for it. Yeah. And that a lot of managers have found that engaging staff in training and learning is really hard, and getting people motivated to do it. But I just kept saying, like, they can use it on, like, watch it on their phone. Like, you don't have to feel like you're sat down in front of a 2-hour-long video. I think you can do it while you're cooking dinner.
I think it's trying to demonstrate as well that this isn't I don't mean to be mean to anyone, but this isn't a PowerPoint presentation online. No. At the end of it, then you do a 20 question like A, B, C or D quiz at the end of it. That is just sucks the soul out of you. It's so boring. Like that isn't what we're about. That isn't for me learning. Like that's memorization of a topic, and you click through a death by PowerPoint. We're not about that. We're about training and education. I hate the word training, but development and education. And we're there for nurseries to be a wing of their business, a training and development wing. That's how I often described it. We don't have the money, the depths of money across the early years sector to have a full-on training and development department. There's probably a handful of very large corporations in the United Kingdom who do nurseries who could afford that. And even they don't really have it. No. So what we're providing, or we're trying to provide, is we're not trying to scam and con people. I think sometimes they think, well, this is too good to be true. But genuinely what we're trying to create is a learning and development platform that can support the development and growth of your business and your staff. Yeah. And the one piece of feedback that kept coming up at the weekend was certificates. Oh, God. Now, we and ahed about certificates for a long time, didn't we? We went back and forth about them. Like, do we want to do them at the end of each course? And we kind of came to the conclusion that people want certificates to fill up their personnel files. Yep. Fine. But what do these pieces of paper actually bring to them? Of course, they want to feel they've done lots, fine. But we decided that because we were providing people with practical and education advice, that it should be demonstrated through practice. Yep. It should come through in your staff's ability to communicate and interact with children, the way they set up their environment, the ability to get outdoors in all weathers. Like, it should motivate and empower people to do those things, rather than be like, oh, printed my certificate, done, I've never used that information since. Yeah. So that's kind of why, and that was a lot of the feedback was, oh, do my staff get certificates? No, but you as manager should be able to see a difference in their practice. Yeah, but one of the biggest things we discussed about when we were designing the website and coming up with ideas and thinking, what do we want this to be? How do we want this to benefit people? The two big things were certificates and exams or quizzes. Yeah. And both of them aren't what we're about. No. Like, even when we talk about children, we don't want to quiz early years children because it's not the best way to develop. we have to do it in primary and so much, but secondary schools, because unfortunately we're in a society where you have to be able to demonstrate your worth via a qualification, and you can only demonstrate how good you are at it by doing some sort of quiz or something. Yeah. So that's what exams are for all. But I think for us, we want it to be more of a almost like holistic growth. I know we use that terminology a lot, but we want it to be that developing, like you said, your practice and the quality of what you're doing, and this, and raise the standards through talking about things, discussing concepts, discussing new science and new research, and really trying to just be the light bearer and push the industry and the standard forward. That is why we set out and to design what we do. Whether we always achieve that and whether people always agree, like that's up in the air, but that's where our goals are coming from. That's where our heart is. And we think the best way to do that is providing information via content that people understand, because it's very YouTube-y, it's very Netflix-y. Like the website, if you could never visit the Early Years Network before, but when you land on it, if you're familiar with using Netflix and using like modern AI, not UX, you'll automatically understand how to use it. You'll get it really, really, really quickly. Yeah. And then when you watch the videos, you relate to them because they're very similar to what you watch on TikTok. They're very similar to what you watch on YouTube. Like there's that element of learning that we've become attuned to.
Yeah, but we as well are real people. And I don't think, like when I was showing people the website, they were like, oh, that's you. Like, yeah, that's me. Like, oh, we do it. That's what, like me, Ben, Olivia and Lucy were all there on the stand. Like we are real people. So it's not as if the information is coming from people who don't know the industry or don't work in the industry or don't get it, because we do. And we also said a lot of the weekend, like, tell us what you want to see. Yeah. Tell us what you want us to talk about. Tell us what is going to help your setting, because if there's something that is going to help your setting, there's likelihood it's going to help someone else's as well.
I mean, one woman said, I don't need the Cypia platform because I just get all my information from like the podcast and stuff. I was like, if you think we go into the same level of detail on this podcast versus what the level of detail we go into
in the classes,
you're crazy. Yeah. Because Hobby sat here all day, and it'd be very hard without my notes and without being organised with my thoughts and actually having like. There's no way in hell. The production value, I'd like to think, is a lot higher on our classes.
Someone said, how'd you come up with the topics for your podcast? A little bit like today, we just sit down and start having a chat.
I said to her at the dinner table, and she looked at me like I was mental.
Yeah, maybe people don't know that we are our partners professionally and personally, I don't know. But yeah, so we have lived and breathed the Early Years Network for the best part of nearly 2 years. And it's been an interesting journey, hasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
There's been ups, there's been downs.
It feels like we sort of hit a point now where we're out there and we're actually live. I don't know, by doing the expo, and we're now 2 months in, 3 months in, it feels like now we're fully launched. Yeah. Does that make sense? Like we're fully launched.
And I have to say, this weekend, I was so proud of it. Like, I was so proud of what we've done, because
the product was amazing. Our team were incredible.
The girls that came with us, we've known them all for forever, but to have them help us promote the product was...
Yeah, because these guys, the guys on our stand are early years people. And when I say they're early years people, I mean like...
Nursery managers.
They're nursery managers. They work in early years. That's what they do. So they're not salespeople. They're not this, that, and the other. They're not even business people in the sense they've got their own businesses. So like, we're probably quite niche in that because we're at an early years expo. And I bet if you walk around most stands, I bet most people either run their business for a while or the salespeople.
It's the sales team.
Yeah. I think, without meaning to be disrespectful, I bet if you jumped on family stand, I bet none of them have probably worked actually in early years.
I don't
Maybe
know.
one or two, but I bet I would bet my bottom dollar. I bet if you went on to, I don't know, the other people around us to stand, they're professionals at doing what they do and they do a very good job of it. But we're actually early years people.
Yeah.
So,
we are, yeah.
Like every single one of us has worked in early years.
So it was so lovely to have everybody there, and the positivity that was on the stand and how busy the stand was. At one point we had, can I borrow your iPad? Can I have your iPad? Is that computer free? Can you do it on your phone? Is that going to work?
I have to say I was blown away by the fact we were never empty.
Yeah.
Like, very rare, towards the last hour or so of the day maybe, but the majority of the time we were there, our stand was heaving.
Yeah. Which was lovely.
And sometimes I couldn't get out or in.
No. And it was so lovely. And yeah, I think it's just highlighted to us that we'll keep going.
Yeah.
We'll keep doing what we're doing and creating the content and putting the podcast out and doing the social media because...
Someone asked me when you're going to stop doing the podcast. I was like, we're not. It'll go on and on and on and on. I don't. We might take a break over Christmas or something, or when we go away, but we're here to stay.
Getting married next year, you might not hear from me in June. It might be Ben on his own. I might be a bit stressed.
I'd find a few new guests.
Other than that, yeah, we plan to do it because I love the conversation, and it tends to be online that it's me that seems to have the controversial comments come towards me, and I don't know what I've done and what I've said, and apologies if I've ever offended anybody.
What happened to that comment, actually? It disappeared.
I
noticed that.
I don't know.
Did you respond?
Yeah.
Oh, so she probably saw your response and was like, okay, I'll get rid of that.
I don't know.
I guess from user 567832297.
But yeah, I think it's good to start the conversations, and we do kind of have like if you're not bringing anything purposeful, we'll get rid of it.
If the comment isn't purposeful, then yeah, it's not. It doesn't. If you can disagree with me online all you want, I'm all here for it. But if you're just being mean, like there's just no need for it.
No. But yeah, I think we had a lovely, lovely weekend. It was really nice to spend some time with our team as well and bond. I've not giggled as much as I did on Friday night.
I have a slight moan. Against, I do.
No.
We saw it to some nursery settings. There was very few, but there was a couple that, I have two things to moan about. The first thing actually to moan about isn't what I was about to talk about, but the first thing I have to moan about was oh my God, why have I just forgotten what I was about to say?
Is it the price to put coats in the cloakroom? Because I thought that was...
That was extortionate, wasn't it?
£2 a coat. £2 a small bag. £5 a big bag.
£5 a big bag.
Sorry.
They make a fortune off that.
What's probably why they did it.
Absolutely killing off that.
So if you saw our stand and saw coats and bags galore, that is why. Yeah. I did not want to pay £2 a coat.
We didn't have like 50 quid to spend on
coats.
No, the first thing was moans about pricing. Like £4.99, I can promise you from a business standpoint, and I set the whole website up, I did all the financial plan. It can physically not be any cheaper. Like it can physically not. It
could be a hell of a lot more expensive.
Yes, absolutely. But £4.99 is as cheap as the website could be. But yeah, I mean,
let's put it this way: a bottle of water at the weekend costs £2.50. For less than double the price, you get a month subscription and all the videos.
And let's put it this way: me and Emily would not be taking a single penny out of the Early Years Network for years.
Oh, God, no.
And years.
And that's why it's
there is
not
no
the
money
day
in
job.
it. We're at the moment just hoping it can pay for itself.
Yeah.
And if we can create a product that really helps the world of early years and can really develop and push it forward and it pays for itself, I'll be happy.
Job done, yeah. And that's not what we set up. We didn't set this up for it to make us loads of money. We set it up because there was a gap for our staff to train and develop and further our nurseries, and that's what we've done. And we wanted to share with everyone. There is going to be a cost in that because we can't do everything for free. But like we said, this podcast we do for free.
Yeah.
We sit down every week and do this and things like that, but it's not going to get any cheaper than £4.99. So unfortunately...
No. I mean, £4.99 a month.
Yeah.
Like you say, people spend more on coffees. People spend more than £4.99 a month without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
That's just the way. A chocolate bar on the way down was £1.66.
Yeah, exactly. So that was, the first moment, but you're not going to please everyone with the price of things.
When they complained about it being £4.99, I just thought, per user, and then if you buy more than one user, so if you own a nursery and you've got 20 users, it goes down to like £4.20, let's say, I don't know off the top of my head. But if you are honestly telling me you can't value your staff enough to shed out £4 something a month for them, from a development point of view, I know the early years sector is incredibly tight. I know at the moment it's really difficult. I get it. We own, like I say, 4 nurseries. I know
we get it
full well what is going on. But I also know the staff I employ and the people I employ, I value them enough to be able to make it work.
Yeah,
figure out
we do.
and figure my budgets out in order to
support them,
to make it work and support them. And even if you can't afford to sign up 30 members of staff, I'm not saying this, and I don't condone this, but buy 4 accounts then. Give it to your team leads and tell them to orchestrate it and make it work and share that one usership. Make it work. Because the product is there to make the areas better and to make your teams better. And it's an investment in your people, the value of your people. That's one moment. The other moment that sort of spawns off that was the person who came up to us and said, they agree with what we're doing.
Yeah, that was nice.
I didn't,
You've got a class that talks about social learning. I think it might have been a podcast.
Yeah.
Talk about social learning, how children learn best through social communication, interactions, etc. And you're doing everything online. I can't visit everybody for £4.99 a month. It's not going to cover my train. It's not going to cover my food, my hotels. It's not going to work.
Technically, she's spot on.
Oh, 100%.
Technically, the best way to teach people and engage is to have a real life person there, talking to them, educating them, teaching them. I absolutely agree with her point. She's 100% correct. But the real world, unfortunately, doesn't work like that. If you bring out a trainer to your setting, you're probably looking at a minimum starting fee of £600.
Oh, yeah, easily.
And in this day and age, that's a huge cost. So unfortunately, it might not be the optimal way of learning through the platform and through the Early's network, but it's a hell of a lot better than anything else that exists at this moment in time.
Exactly.
And it's a hell of a lot better than nothing.
And just some feedback from that lady. Coming up and telling someone at an expo when you're trying to promote your product to the team that you don't agree, just don't say it. Like, if you don't agree with it, that's fine. Just keep it to yourself and move on. Like, go and get a biscuit or something. It wasn't the time or place to do it. And I'm sure the conversation, and we can have the conversation like we just said, we totally get, we agree. But there's a time and a place. And I think it didn't even come to me or you. It went to somebody else on the stand. And I just think, come on.
It's not like we're killing animals or testing on animals or doing something horrific. We're literally trying to help.
I just want to help. So yeah, there's your 2 moans.
I probably got a few more, but
I was very warm.
Yeah, but there was a nice bit of aircon on the stand.
Yeah, but the first day I had a long sleeve top underneath my jumper, and that was all on me. I was very warm.
Oh, I got another moan.
He doesn't always moan. We had a lovely weekend.
I've kind of the line for food was at one point horrific. I was really hungry.
There's a lot of people though, Ben.
I know.
You can't moan about that.
I am. I'm literally doing it right now.
No, I'm sorry. That one's vetoed. You're not allowed to moan about the line for food. There's a lot of people. It was busy. It kept us going all week.
I know, but I got there after 7, 8 o'clock. Right. Some people turned up at 10 and were in front of me.
Well, tough. You were working. But yeah.
No, it was wicked. The guys, Childcare Expo, the people behind it, all did a fantastic
amazing
job.
Yeah,
it was really, really well organised.
Yeah, really well organised. People were lovely. You could talk to anybody.
Even to turn up exhibitors on that Thursday, it was so easy. You just walked in, set up. It was an absolute doddle. Yeah. Except for the man who kept getting angry about our van.
Nothing to do with us though. We didn't have the van. But yeah, no, the team there were amazing. So amazing that we have decided that next year in 2025...
We're not going.
We will be there. We'll be there with the team. And it's a very special one because it will be on my birthday next year.
Oh, will it? What is the actual date of it? Is it the 28th?
I don't know, Ben. When is my birthday?
Well, no, is it the 28th and 1st or is it 27th, 28th? 28th
well, that's what was on the sign, yeah.
Right, okay. It's 28th of February, 1st of March. Be there or be square.
So, yes, come and spend my birthday with me next year.
We'll give you a little party hat. Woohoo. And we'll put some balloons up.
I'd appreciate that.
That'd be cute, wouldn't it?
That'd be lovely. We're
in the same place, B20. I hope they still, it's the same spot. I'm assuming it'd still be called B20.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, we'll be there again. But yeah, I was so proud this weekend. It was very heartwarming, very lovely to speak to so many people about the product and about us and come and say hello and say that they like what we're doing. So that was really, so if that was you or even if you just came and said hello and that you recognised us, thank you so much because it really didn't go unnoticed. It was lovely, wasn't it?
If you put some people took selfies as well, so
tag us in it.
Tag us in it, and we'll share it.
Yeah,
at least we can put a face to the social media account.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And don't be afraid to drop us a message. We said you get directly through to us.
Absolutely.
So say hello.
If anybody wants to say anything or
ask any questions, recommend anything. Request anything, just drop us a message because it was lovely.
It is me and Emily at the other end of the social media account, so
hello.
One of us will pick it up.
It is literally me and Ben. We're real people. We're behind all of this. It's not a big team.
What are we going to talk about next week, Em?
I've got no bloody clue.
So I wanted to do one episode on motivation.
You did. We were going to do that this week. We can do motivation. Yeah, we can do that.
Motivation would be a cool one.
That'd be nice actually because we had some conversations this weekend about how to motivate staff.
Yeah, we could talk about people's why. We can dive into some of the science behind motivation. We can dive into the science behind how you can make motivated children. Sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? But help encourage highly motivated children. Don't know why I said it like that. Don't know what I'm Russian. Children who are eager to learn.
So, apologies that this week's hasn't really been an overly informative podcast. It's more been a chit-chat debrief for us.
Yeah.
For the weekend. And a big, big thank you.
My social battery is on the floor.
Oh, we didn't speak to each other at all really on Saturday or Sunday, did we, in the evening?
No, we just got home and sat in silence, effectively.
Pretty much, yeah. Cuddled the dogs.
One very smelly dog.
Oh, she's poorly.
She smells, though. Yeah, she smells anyway, let alone what's coming out of her butt.
Thing. But yeah, next week, normality will resume 6 o'clock on Monday morning.
What was your favourite part of this weekend?
Meeting so many people.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. It was really lovely to talk to people about the product and, yeah, just put names and faces together for them.
I'd say what would be really useful if people, if you do listen to the podcast, if you could share it with friends, colleagues, family members, and also if you could leave us a review, whether it be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anything like that. They really help because the more you leave positive reviews or negative reviews, if you feel so inclined, the more it helps keep the podcast on the algorithm around a little bit. Yeah. So more people will hopefully see it and join in the conversations.
Yeah, it'd be lovely. I think that's it from us.
I think it is.
Are we done this week?
We're good. I've got a few videos to go up this week of what I said I would get out last week, which I just ran behind because of the expo. So they'll go up. Physical development will go up this week. A couple from Olivia will go up this week. So keep an eye out for that if you use the site. And then I've got my Ofsted video to record this month. You've got Independence
to record this month.
We've
got a busy month though.
Yeah, we haven't.
So we've got a really big day next week.
No, we haven't. We got your mum's 60th this week.
We have. And then what happens next Friday?
Not a lot.
Ben over here turns 30, so we're gonna have to double up on filming, otherwise we are gonna miss the following Monday.
Yeah, we're not. Yes, we'll have to. Yeah, we'll get that sorted.
We'll have to get that sorted.
Yeah, I'm 30. That's quite a. Yeah.
It's not. In the comments, let Ben know that turning 30 is not that bad.
Yeah.
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 And on that note, we will see you all next week. Apologies for the late upload this week, but I hope you can forgive us because we've been really busy at the expo.
Yeah, please find it in your heart.
And we will see you all in a week's time.
We're going to discuss
motivation. Have a lovely week.
See you later, guys.
Bye.